Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be talking Hedera Hashgraph HBAR, and we are going to be looking at how our plan is playing out. And the Hedera Hashgraph HBAR train is well and truly leaving the station. We did have a breakout for Hedera last week, and we're going to be looking at where we are today and where we are likely going. We're going to be showing you some examples. We're going to be referring to some old content of mine where we were looking at Bitcoin around about the 20K region that was essentially basing in a similar way that Hedera did. It broke, it then came back for a number of retests, and I think Hedera is on a similar trajectory. Hedera has broken out of its stage 1 base, is now in what we would define as a stage 2, and is looking for further upside continuation. Now, remember, with the altcoin market, it is a very volatile market. We're seeing a lot of volatility today. You know, Bitcoin was up 12% at one point. It went back down to 4%, and it's kind of fluctuating between. But this is the nature of the beast that we are trying to tame. But we are here right there with you to help you guys get through and go on your journeys in the cryptocurrency market as investors or perhaps speculators. So a good place for me to start, as always, is with our initial price prediction. And this is what we were looking at for Hedera Hashgraph. We were essentially looking at a technical road ahead of us. We were identifying a double bottom pattern that was within what we would define as a stage 1 base. And we were waiting for resistance that was essentially pinning us and keeping us in this stage 1 to actually be taken on volume. Now, we've seen the most amount of volume for Hedera that I think we've perhaps ever seen, and that is a very positive sign. And since we gave this price prediction a number of months ago, we have actually not only taken that resistance level, we've done it on volume. We may have seen the retest, and I do believe we are now on the course for higher ground. So everything is a-okay. We are experiencing a lot of volatility in the crypto space today. You know, if we look at Hedera's price action, this is the chart that we have for you, and you can see the kind of volume that we've seen for Hedera is nothing short of spectacular. And it's not just Hedera on KuCoin, on Coinbase. You can see that the volume that we saw on that breakout was pretty extreme. So not just on one chart. This, of course, is the KuCoin chart. You can see the volume that we've experienced is significant. And this is confirming the breakout. It's showing us that there is conviction behind the move at the taking of a key level. Now, with breakouts, typically you do get a retest. And what I want to do is actually dive over to my Twitter and highlight something that I was highlighting earlier, which is when we were looking at Bitcoin back in March, and we were looking at this kind of a double head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern. The markets very typically bottom in either a head and shoulders or a double bottom. It's a very common pattern. We see it across the board. We've used injective as a kind of schematic. But of course, with Hedera, we did have and do have that double bottom formation. And ultimately, we have broken. We are now just waiting to see what takes shape. And of course, Bitcoin, still the tide that rises and sinks all ships, is going to be the dictator of this. Because we're experiencing a lot of volume today, I thought it was important for me to get on here and make this, because we do now have a broader uptrend that we believe is coming for Hedera. In the same way that we were looking for a similar thing, or the possibilities of a similar thing playing out for Bitcoin, down here, you can see you've got the break on volume in much the same fashion as Hedera. This is an inverse head and shoulders, not a double bottom. You break and you come back for a retest. So we are in this kind of period for Hedera where it's making its mind up. If we drop down to, and this is our stage 1 base, we're now in a stage 2. We'll put a schematic on the screen alongside this. But you can see Hedera has broken. And now it is at a point where it's trying to make its mind up. Very volatile day. This, to me, I think is actually going to set up for continuation. You can see with Hedera, it broke. This is where you actually broke your key level of significance, which is kind of pinning you in your stage 1. You broke it. You came down. I would actually probably class this as a retest. So I'm not sure that you're going to get a retest in the same kind of fashion that we saw Bitcoin do down here. I actually think that this is off, and that this is going higher, and now is relatively still, in my opinion, not too much of a bad time to be looking at this. Certainly if it keeps trying to come down to the lower band here. I do think this is going to lead to further upside, and a broader uptrend was signaled with this break here on momentum. So if we dive back over to our price prediction chart, you can see that this is essentially what we were looking at. We were looking at a double bottom that was going to give us a target that would pretty nicely line up with this area of significance over here that could set up for much the same thing that Bitcoin is currently doing, which is a broader inverse head and shoulder. We've used Injective as a schematic. Injective's very much like Hedera, and we've used it as a blueprint. But this is essentially what we're looking at. We're looking at a run that we think is on now, at the point of this break, that is essentially going to take Hedera to the 27 cents. Hopefully it pulls back a little bit, and then we can set it for continuation and look to go all the way to $2. That's what we are looking at for Hedera. And many people do not believe in technical analysis, likely because of the other content creators when it comes to the crypto space or trading and investing in generally that they follow. But we will turn you guys into believers. And this is now the path forward that we see for Hedera, in much the same way that Bitcoin, stage 1 base, smaller head and shoulders pattern, predicted higher upside, perfect right shoulder, you break again on momentum, and you can see the direction that Bitcoin's gone. And we very much compared this to the likes of Amazon, which we'll pull up for you very quickly. You can see break, retest, this is the kind of path. They're very similar, Bitcoin and Amazon, but Hedera is essentially at a further behind stage. And we did use Injective to show you this, double bottom, similar to Hedera, break on volume, consolidation around the neckline, which you may be in for with HBAR before you then go on to your broader target. You'll set up some sort of a continuation pattern, hopefully like what this did, really, in the context of a bigger pattern, which is an inverse head and shoulders, and then you'll go on to higher ground. That's very much what we're looking at for Hedera, and do not look a gift horse in the mouth. Any pullbacks you get on this, whilst you're in an uptrend, I'm going to treat as a buying opportunity. What you guys choose to do is entirely up to you. But the plan is very much in play when it comes to Hedera, and there's no need to deviate from it. It's a very strong opinion that I have here, guys, that this is now going to continue and get to our $27, 27 cents price prediction. And then if it sets up, remember, we have to see it before we confirm it. If it sets up that inverse head and shoulders, you're looking at that $2 mark. So stick to the plan as it relates to Hedera. Hedera is probably one of the most promising cryptocurrencies available today. Both fundamentally and technically, it looks great. And it makes up actually a large part of my portfolio at this point. I don't share my portfolio publicly. I do share it with my patrons. If you want to become a patron, do check the link out in the description and get on board with my portfolio, where we're at and what we're doing. We have got a meeting tonight. But everything about this chart is pointing towards broader upside. Bitcoin dominance rolling is something that we haven't been that accurate on. Others' dominance also getting a little bit hit. Altcoins are going to have their day in the sun. However, I do think that's going to largely be centered around, or the technicals are pointing to that, but that's likely going to come on some fundamental news in regards to an Ethereum ETF. And we've seen the reaction of the likes of Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency with an ETF, and the advancement of Bitcoin in price as a result of the ETF. That whole wave is going to be coming for Ethereum and then the altcoins. I know Ethereum is an altcoin, but the altcoins more broadly, as we, in the US, they allow products to be traded that are altcoin derived products. So very interesting. This is literally a great time, to be honest, to be in the crypto space. Certainly interested in Hedera. We do have that short-term target of 27 cents. That ultimately might lead us to a higher target around about that $2 mark. What I want to do is go back in time with Injective and actually show you this playing out once again. So you can see double bottom, stage 1. If we go back, this is essentially where Hedera is at today. So it may need a bit more of a pullback. It may need a bit more of a rest. Let's try and show you these charts actually side by side. You can see the similarities here. This is Hedera. This is Injective. And we all know the story for Injective. The roadmap that we've set out has quite a lot to do with Injective. Markets will typically go up and down in a similar fashion. And understand the bigger trend. Don't try and be too smart with the markets. Get on the right side of it. Appreciate that Hedera is now an uptrend. And make money in the move, in sitting in the move, not trying to get in and out at every dip and every advancement, because it's, I don't think I can do that. And I've been trading the markets for years and I'm a profitable trader. I'm not sure that the average kind of retail crypto investor can. So this is very much what we think is coming for Hedera. This was just a video to keep people on the course. The train is very much leaving the station. This volume is nothing short of impressive. This short-term consolidation after the break is textbook. It happens pretty much every time. I'm not convinced that you're even going to get a full retest. I think this was it. And you're now essentially setting up for that broader continuation in the uptrend that I think you are confirmed to be in. So that is really all I've got for you in this video, guys. It was just a short and sweet Hedera update video. We have given price predictions for a number of altcoins. We're going to follow them all through. We're going to show you if we're wrong, when we're wrong. But ultimately, what the market is doing right now is giving us very positive feedback to a technical plan that we've laid out. And Hedera is following it beautifully. And I do believe we are potentially on the road to that $2 mark. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it, as a comment. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next.